Hello, everybody. Welcome to Revolution at Home. I am your coach, Eric, for today's class. This class is going to be a little bit different today. Obviously, this is an audio-only class that we're bringing to you today because today we're going to be taking you on a walk. All right, so we're going to be talking about gait mechanics, different cueing for walking as you're out in the community, walking in the places you love. This is going to be about a 10-minute walk that we're going to provide to you with some different cues along the way, things to pay attention to. So if you can go for longer than 10 minutes, I encourage you to start with this audio recording and then take it out, maybe put some music on and continue your walk, keeping in mind all of these different cues as you go and continue on your walk and outside of this walk. So let's first start by just finding a comfortable place. Kind of taking note of what and where your body is right now and what you're feeling. It's always important. I always encourage you to be mindful of how your body is feeling before you go out and actually go for a walk, because it helps us be more mindfully aware of what we're doing and how we're feeling and how we're moving. And when you're out in the community, there are a lot of different environmental factors that do come into play that, might throw your balance off. And we might need to know whether your balance is good today. Maybe it's kind of an off day, but you still want to go out and do something. So let's just take a self-assessment here to kind of see how your body's feeling. Move your arms all the way up above your head. Drop them all the way back down. How do those shoulders feel? Take those arms out nice and wide. Give yourself a big hug. So how does that upper body feel? If you kind of rotate your shoulders from side to side. Okay, how's that trunk rotation feeling? All right. Maybe picking those knees up into a bit of a march. Okay, which leg might feel a little bit heavier than the other? On this walk, we need to be a little bit more mindful of that heavier leg. Take a leg out to the side. Maybe just swing it out to the side next to you. Do the same thing with the other leg. Again, just taking note of what you're feeling in the body, how it's moving today. Rise up onto your toes and drop back to your heels. Just kind of rock back and forth on your feet. Right. If you feel like any muscle or any part of your body is more tense and tight than others, important before you do this video to go back and do one of our stretching exercise videos to make sure that you can kind of loosen that body up and prime it for more optimal movement. When you're out and going for a walk or doing any kind of cardiovascular exercise, it's important to have that body nice and loose before you go out and about on your walk. Now, one thing I will encourage is as you're going out on the walk, we don't want to compromise balance at any point during the walk. So make sure you have a device or someone with you if you need it to maintain your stability. We want distance and we want to get your heart rate up. So however it's best for you to do that, please have those devices nearby or have someone with you. Always good to have a walking buddy, even though if you have your headphones in here and you're listening to this video, just make sure that you're aware of what you need to make sure that you're nice and safe. So now that we're out, ready for our walk, all right, let's be mindful of a couple different things. We want to have good arm swing. We want to have a good long gait stride sequence. And we really want to focus on a good heel to toe stride. Sometimes that's easier for some than others. So just do the best you can. This is all about just kind of doing the best you can. And if some of these cues don't resonate well with you, don't take them and just do what you can do that might be similar to one of these cues that we're providing for you today. So we're gonna go for a little 10-minute walk. Here we go. So I always encourage people to start off at a nice, comfortable speed. Consider this somewhat of a warm-up, like you go into any form of exercise or any workout. We kind of checked in with the body before, but this is more of just a warm-up to kind of get the blood flowing a little bit, just to get the body going. Obviously, there's no music in the background, so what I encourage you to do is really just be mindful of what you're feeling, taking some of the noises around you in nature. Okay, or if you're walking on a treadmill, listen to your gait sequence. How are your feet hitting the ground? Is it symmetrical right side to left side? Okay. Is one toe maybe catching more than another? Just kind of take note of what that feels like. Okay. Now take note of how big your stride is from right side to left side. Which foot is stepping longer than the other? Make sure you focus on your breath. If at any point in the walk you feel like you get stuck, right? Maybe you're getting tired, maybe you're crossing a busy street. A lot of times those things tend to increase our levels of stress or anxiety about doing some of those activities. One of the best things you can do is to focus on you and what you need to focus on to get over that curb, across that street, passing that person walking toward you with their dog in a stroller. Just be mindful of what you need to do and where you're going. And one of the best things you can do to help ease the mind is just take some nice, big, deep breaths. So as you're walking, let's take 3 deep breaths in through your nose. And out through your mouth. Into the nose. And out through the mouth. One more time, in through your nose. And out through your mouth. All right, so we've kind of checked in with ourselves. We're getting a little bit more warmed up. Okay, let's focus now on where that foot is striking the ground. Are you getting a good heel toe strike, right side and left side? If not, let's reconnect and try to reach that leg out in front of you. You're taking a little bit bigger stride. That's going to be what's required to get that heel striking the ground first. And reaching out to, with that heel striking first on the floor, what that does, it helps you pick up those toes a little bit better. If that's still difficult to do, let's go into a bit of an exaggerated high knee march. Again, this walk and this warm up to your walk is really focused on warming up and conditioning the muscles that help you take a better stride, a bigger stride as you go throughout a normal walk. So sometimes we just need to kind of remind these muscles to move a little bit bigger or a little bit more exaggerated. So pick those knees up nice and high. And as you do that, pick your toes up a little bit higher. Okay, as you drive your knee up, pick that big toe up with it. And that's also going to help clear your toes. And you might notice the first thing to hit the ground when you do that is your heel. All right. Make sure that posture is up nice and tall. Let's go back into a normal stride. If you're walking with a cane or a walker, or just in general, a lot of times our posture is something really important to pay attention to. Okay. If you're leaning too far forward, that's going to take some momentum in the direction that you're going, right? We're all walking forward. And if your head or your shoulders are leaning forward, your hips are behind you, that's naturally going to speed up your stride, speed up your gait, throw you a little bit off balance, but it's also going to put you more on your toes. It's going to be harder to get that heel toe strike. So keep that posture up taller, tuck your butt underneath your shoulders, and continue that nice big stride. All right. Again, take an assessment to see where we're at. We're about 5 minutes into the walk now. You're probably hyper aware of what your body's feeling. Try not to overanalyze. Again, bring it back to a big deep breath. We always talk about being mindful. This is just a quick mindful video or audio recording to take with you along a walk or before you go for a walk, to be mindful of these different things that are going to help you walk better. That is our goal for today. Now, we got a good heel toe strike going. Maybe that gait's not perfect yet, but that's okay. Okay. Now let's focus on a little bit of that arm swing. Okay. How are those arms feeling? If you're walking with a walker or a cane, that's fine. Those arms aren't going to be swinging so much. Okay. Take this walk at your own speed. But let's come back to that arm swing. All right. Which arm is swinging bigger than the other? Maybe it takes more mindful motion to get that arm swing equalized on both sides. Why is that important to get those arms swinging a little bit better? Well, it's important because it helps you rotate your trunk. Our body has this natural pattern of going opposite arm, opposite leg forward. Don't think about it too much, because if you do, it'll likely screw up that pattern. It's something we don't typically have to really think about. But if you can just focus on your arm swing, just being natural and big, your legs will kind of follow suit as long as you continue to walk. If you're feeling like you're having a hard time taking equally big stride right side and left side, a lot of times we're stronger on one leg than the other leg. So when you're walking, okay, and you're not as strong on your right leg, you're going to want to get off that right leg as fast as possible. So your left leg might be striding through a little bit shorter. So what we want to do is not only think about taking a bigger step on the left, but holding more weight on the right for a little bit longer, okay, to make sure you have enough time to step through a little bit bigger on the left. All right. Don't think about it too much, but if you need to slow the walking down, let's have everyone slow down just a little bit right now and take kind of a reassessment of what you're feeling in the legs. Which leg might be stronger than the other? Which arm might be swinging bigger than the other? We're about 8 minutes in. I'll guide you through a couple more minutes. But oftentimes, we want to walk fast to get that heart rate up, right? But we don't want to compromise your form, the length of your stride, or the swing of your arm for speed, all right? Speed will always mask stability, and we want stability as we walk. That helps improve our balance. So if you need to slow it down, let's do that now, and just feel what you have to be mindful of. Typically, when we slow your walking stride down, it makes things feel a little bit more unstable, a little more unnatural. But we want to feel natural in these slower movements, because that means we have better stability. And if you don't have that now, that's fine. Okay, but take it at this speed. Don't rush. Okay. Now let's pick that pace back up again. We're going into a longer stride. And let's build up to a consistent pace that you can sustain for the next 10 minutes, the next 20 minutes. All right. I encourage you guys to go at least another 10 minutes on this walk, being mindful of these things that we've just practiced. All right. So let's pick that pace up if you can. And then you can get back to listening to your music or listening to the birds, talking to a friend. Always good to walk with someone you enjoy being with. All right. If you get stressed throughout this walk, again, bring it back to a breath. One of the best ways to get out of an episode where you might get stuck is to bring it back to a deep breath and some weight shifting. Standing in one spot, weight shifting side to side. But for right now, last minute here, let's really focus on that big, long stride with that nice, tall posture, a big arm swing. And I'm going to leave you guys to continue this walk. I hope these cues were helpful Thanks for taking a walk with me. This is Eric Johnson from Movement Revolution. Have a wonderful day, everyone.